to manage your display. So this is not the Wally's room. This is CCL, but I'll just say that my name is Carl Mirsky. I've been doing animated lights for, let's see. I've been doing Christmas lights all my life. And then I started doing animated lights in 2010. Actually started with, I had a Mr. Christmas for a little while, then I went to Lightorama, and then I kind of moved up. Can you all see my screen? Am I sharing? I'm not sharing. Then I kind of moved up to X-Lights. So, so we should be sharing now. So I moved up to using X-Lights, and I haven't gone back since. So interestingly enough, though, I do use AC and DC lights in my presentation, or excuse me, in my display. So, you know, I still have a couple of controllers that I use. I have 2 Lightorama controllers. I also have a Pixel to Things board. So, you know, I do think, just as a kind of a lead into this whole thing, you do what you do. You do your display exactly the way that you want to do it. I'm gonna hang on one second. I don't want all these pings and beeps in here. But I don't know. I honestly don't know what's on my Facebook page here. So nothing you can't see, but it's kind of annoying when they're doing that. All right, go back to here. I guess you did see that. All right, don't matter. It doesn't really matter. All right, so yeah, you do your display, right? I mean, I think that's really important that everybody does their thing, and don't worry about what other people do, right? You do what fits you. All right, so can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
All right, cool. All right, so paid video software. So there's a lot of software out there that you can pay for. So Adobe Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Rush, they all come with the Adobe suite. Lightworks Pro, Corel, Adobe Elements, you see a lot of Adobe out there. Apple iMovie, Final Cut Pro, Pinnacle Studio, great tools. They just cost, and they cost anywhere from, say, $50 to more and more going to a subscription-based approach, right? So Adobe used to be able to buy their software. Now you pay it either on an annual basis or month to month. So, you know, I try to tell people, hey, you can get a lot of good output from free software. So the free items, this is just a subset of it. So Lightworks, there's a free version of it. Lightworks is probably, if I was going to take 2 pieces of software and say free software that works as well, if not better, than paid software, it would be Lightworks, Lightworks Pro, and Davinci Resolve. Lightworks by itself, though, the only downside of the free version is it'll only record in 720p. We're so used to HD and 1080p these days, 720p just doesn't cut it. So there's tools out there, Moavi, VDSC, HitFilm Express. Again, there's a free version. They really want you to get their paid version. Movie Maker Online, I put that in there. I've never used it, so I don't really want to talk about it. Blender, we'll talk about a little bit. But the ones I really want to focus on are Windows 10 Video Editor, which you may or may not know what's there, OpenShot, Shotcut. Those are the 3 that I'm going to focus on today. So let's talk a little bit about the Windows 10 Video Editor, which many people don't even know it's there, right? They're not even aware of it. But in the latest version of Windows 10, which I think is 1909, which you have to upgrade to, there is a tool, if you search, called Video Editor. It's part of the Photos app.
Muted it.
And,
Muted what?
sorry?
I muted anything. Yeah, it was on.
There we go. Whoop, sorry. So it's in there. So if you just search for Video Editor, it's part of the Photo app. Boom, it'll come up. It's right in there. So I'm going to do a quick walkthrough on it. Actually, I'm going to spend some time on it because for a lot of people, it may be what you need. So the way this works is it's very simple. When you open it up, this is what you get. I just did this presentation here, so I'm going to do a similar presentation. So you're going to do a new video project. Obviously, you can back up. I always recommend backing up anyway. Make a video for me. You can probably, I've never done that. You could probably go ahead and say, here's all my images, here's my videos. Go ahead and auto create it. It's like auto sequencing, I would assume. So we're going to create a new video project. And so you just click new video project and it's going to come up to this blank screen. We're going to call this VCS 2021. Again, you can name it anything you want to. Now, in order to add files, if you want, you can do stills, you can do pictures. You go into add, you can do from this PC. We're going to go in here and I can select one, I can select multiple. You can also drag and drop. So what's cool about this is I can come in here and I can just select all these. You know, I want to put a picture in there. Well, I won't put the picture in for time, but here, we'll put the reindeer in there this time, just because reindeers are cool, right? Reindeers are better than people. So it'll go ahead and it'll start ingesting in here. Now, the one thing I want to talk about with this is when we're dealing with any type of video editor, some audio editors, but mostly video editors, they're resource intensive. So you're really going to want to have a good graphics card. Doesn't have to be the best, but you want a good one, because when you're rendering video, it renders it on the GPU versus the CPU. So you really want to have a better graphics card in order to do that. But a standard Windows 10 PC, i7, i9, 12 gig RAM is probably sufficient. I personally would put 16 in, but anyway. So the way the tool works is you basically drag and drop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a fire video. I'm just going to drag it down here into my storyboard. Boom, it's there, ready to go. I could save it. I'd have a nice video. I'm going to drag this down here. The one thing that this tool does not have, it doesn't have the ability to do integrated transitions. So what do I mean by that? Fade in, fade outs. And we'll look at that in the other tools a little bit, but it doesn't give you the ability to do that. So I'm just going to throw a couple videos down here. And let's see, we'll throw some skating down here, and then we'll throw this last video. Okay, so what I have now is I've got a video that's 3 minutes and 34 seconds long. I don't want it 3 minutes and 34 seconds because what I'm going to show you is this fire video is a minute long. Nobody wants to see a fire for a minute, right? I mean, they might, but I don't think a lot of people do. The whole point of the video is you could actually, if this was your display, this could be like a promo video. It could be the actual video of your display with different, different shots, different angles. So what I want to do is I'm going to start off with this fire, and so you can go ahead and play it here. It's already rendered in there. This one has audio. You notice it's crackling if you can hear that. But it's a long video. So what I can do is there's different things I can do down here. I'm going to trim this, okay? And trimming is real easy. I click on trim, and let's say I want to do this video and I want to do it for 10 seconds. So I come over here. Let's see, it doesn't have the timeline here. I can play it. So that's the one thing. It doesn't show me where the timeline is. But actually it will when I trim it. So if I do here, let's say I want it to end right here, I can go ahead and click done. Oh, it shows there's the trim up here. The whole clip is a minute. I hit done, and now I have actually it didn't trim it. Hang on, I should have trimmed it. Trim it. Oh, sorry, wrong. So this is going to show me the mark where I am. This shows me the trim. Sorry about that. So this is the length. I was looking for that. So let's say I wanted 10 seconds. So I go in here, I drag it for 10 seconds or thereabouts. I can also use my left and right cursor keys to move it right to the edge there. So I can go ahead and what they call scrub it. So now I've gone ahead, I've got my video clip, and I'm done. So now it tells me how long my clip is. Boom, I'm done. So now I have 10 seconds here. Now this one here starts off with snowflakes, and oh look, we got reindeer coming in. So I want to fast forward. Whoop, nope, because it's going to go to the next clip. So we're going to go here because it's going to show me everything that's on my timeline right now. So I can use my right and left cursor keys to show where I am. So let's say I want to get right to here in the seek, and I want it just where Santa Claus is right there. So I know I'm going to be right about 32 seconds. Again, I'm going to trim this, and I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to say, well, I knew it was right around 32 seconds. Oop. Longer. So we come, okay, so we want to be right about here, right there, I think is good, right? Yep. So now I'm done. So I wanted to trim it down to 23 seconds, but I've trimmed that one. Again, the same thing, a little buddy here. Now let's say I want to use this video in 2 different places, right? So what I can do is I can actually split this video, but I'm going to show you this one here where I'm going to split it. But I don't really want 44 seconds of looking at our happy little friend here. That just would get annoying even to me. So again, I want to go ahead and trim it because he does the same thing. Let's make this a 10-second clip. All right, and then here we've got some skating going on. This, I think, already a 10-second clip. So this one I'm going to show you how to do a split, right? So I've got Santa Claus here, and it's a minute long. He sits here and he reads a newspaper. Yeah, this is great. Okay, I don't want to see everything that he's doing. So what I can do here is I can do what's called a split, right? Oop. I'm going to go into here and I'm going to do a split, right? So in my split, I want to, don't know why it's doing that. That's weird. Sometimes things don't always want them to. See if it works this time. There we go. All right. So sometimes you have to use, hello. Let's take this little guy out. He just seems to be causing me trouble. So here, if I want to get rid of him, I can just remove that clip. Now let's see what we can do here. There, now we have Santa. We have him in here. He sits down. He's going to open up the paper. But really what I want to do is I want to split this clip here because I don't want this whole section here, right? Right when he opens up the paper and his socks. That's a good point to stop. So I'm going to do it here. And I'm going to trim this or split this. And what it's going to do is it's going to split it into 2 different clips for me. Right? So now what I end up with is this clip I just did, and then I end up with this other clip. Now what I want to do here is I want to split this again because I'm going to cut some off. And I kind of know where I want to be because I've already looked at this video clip, and I want to be right here. And again, this is called scrubbing. So I'll go a little bit further back. There, right there. And so this is where I want to be. So now I'm going to take that clip. And then, so this clip here, this is my first one. This is going to be my end clip where he's going to open it up. Okay. I don't need this clip anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. I hit the delete key or right click and cut video clip. So now what I end up with is I end up with a transition from here. And it may not be perfectly clean, but you'll get the idea. Goes into here.
Merry Christmas.
And now we have that. So we go from him sitting here all the way into this next clip. When his feet go up, he opens up the paper. So this is the effect I want to get. So if you want to go ahead and clean up your video, this is a great way to do it, right? And so and again, you can play around with it. So The one thing, there's two things my video is missing now. And again, it's up to you, a title of my video and audio. So real quickly, I'm going to show you how to do a title card in here. Everybody's favorite cartoon, or we call Comic Sans. Go up here and put my Christmas video. And you can go ahead and you can tell how long you want it to be. It's typically 3 seconds. You can make it 2 seconds. It's got an automatic transition on it. You can go ahead and change the background color. Done. There are also built-in themes. So let's say that you wanted to look at their themes. They have colors. They have all kinds of different things that you can use. So now I can't even spell, but now I'm going to drag this. So all I'm doing is dragging it over here. Boom. And now what I end up with is a title slide, which goes right into here. Now, I don't want to hear the fire crackling because we're going to do one more thing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. I'm going to turn my volume all the way down. So now when it transitions, because I'm going to add audio to this thing, now I've silenced the audio that's in that, right? But what am I missing? What do I want here? I want audio now. So a question is, can you place a video in a video, show a close-up of a prop in overall show? The answer is not really with this. You would have to use like the photo app to do that for this tool or another third-party app, but you could do that. You could transition in there. But this tool is fairly basic. So you can do some transitions, some motion transitions, but not really what you're talking about. Audio. This is really cool because you can either add custom audio. Let's say you have your own audio file, or it's got built-in background music. And the one we're using is this one. I'm going to turn the volume down about half. There we go. I like that file right there. And I'm going to hit sync my video to the music's beat. I'm going to click done. And now what it's done is, you can't see it, but what it's basically done is it's now added an audio file. So the clip is 1 minute and 11 second song. If I said, I really wanted 30 seconds, I could, again, edit and move my clips. But here's what you end up with. You end up with a nice little video with all my different transitions for as long as you want it. I'll skip the gory details. We'll go over here. Let's see, what did it do there? Here. I've had different files up today, so it should sync it up with the whole thing, or it does sync it up with the whole thing. Actually, I have the video. I think I've already saved the video, but what it'll do is, I don't know why it's not working now. It should. Here we go. Maybe it wants me to play the whole thing. Because this is a render. So anytime you're rendering, sometimes you get goofy results. And you can actually do your motion effects in here too. So you can have it zoom in, zoom out, zoom to the left, zoom to the right, skew in. Okay, so what it did was it ended up, for some reason, it ended up cutting it off because we're moving a lot of things around here. So, but essentially it would go through the whole video when we do it. Let's see. So, trust me, you can watch the other video that we did where it actually worked. And you'll see that it did create the whole video. I was going to look for it now if I could find it. Let's see. I think it is right here. There it is. See if it'll play this one. This is the one I did before. I'll just give you the example. You can add text to your videos and you can modify it. Right here.
Merry Christmas.
And what this actually did was it took all of my video tracks and it synced the music up to match the video track. So for a down and dirty, quick, you know, let's just go ahead and roll with this. That's what it does. So that's Windows, the video editor. All right, so now we're going to get into some of the other tools. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Davinci Resolve. Davinci Resolve, again, look what I was talking about before. Next to Lightworks, which again is limited, Davinci Resolve is probably the best free software, and it is free. They use it a lot in movie production because the hardware that they use for a lot of color correction and video production, post-production, it's in the thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. But the software they give away for free. I would not recommend running this on anything but a higher end system that specifically is designed that you've got a high end graphics card. It will slow down and kind of choke on you. I was trying to run it before to show it, but again, it's very slow. But again, if you've got a good system and a great graphics card and memory, you know, go for it. There's a lot. It's very intuitive. It's got a very high learning curve. But once you've used it, it's a great tool. But again, the other tools I'm going to show you are just as powerful. OpenShot and Shotcut. So I'm going to spend time on OpenShot, and then we're going to go into Shotcut because I think these are the ones that most people have said that they use. In my other class, they said this is pretty much what they use. So we'll go into here. We'll go into OpenShot. All right, so OpenShot here, now you start seeing more of a canvas where you have kind of your framework. So this is where you would download all your files. I'm going to, I don't know if I don't know if I, oops. Desktop, that's what I want. So we'll go into here. No, so I didn't save it. So we'll walk through this. I thought I saved the project file. So same concept. I can go in into my files. I can select the ones that I want. So we're going to go here. I've already got them highlighted, and I can drag them in here. And I'm going to go ahead and add an audio file because I like that. And I'm going to go ahead and throw a picture file in there. And so what it does is it separates them here. So you got a video, all your videos, your audio file, and your image file. So it actually can break down what you're looking for. So if you've got tons of videos, tons of pictures that you want to put in there, this is a great tool because it automatically does it for you. So again, now you have more of a workspace, and you're going to see a theme here. So this tool, Shotcut, OpenShot, Sony Vega or Vegas, even Davinci at a high level, all your video editing tools are going to look pretty much exactly the same way. So again, we're going to use our tracks. Now they give you by default 5 tracks. I don't use 5 tracks, so I'm going to remove a couple of them just to kind of give you an idea. You can right click and remove. Everything has shortcuts. So again, learn the shortcuts. If you go into preferences, there's your keyboard. It'll give you all your shortcuts here. You know, some of these others, really, I wouldn't mess around with them. The only one I would is the default. So the default, I think, saves in 720p or something like that. Change your default to HD 30 frames a second. That's what I use for the most part. It gives you a good, clean video, and it's pretty much transportable everywhere. Everything else you can kind of leave as default. You notice here it's telling me I didn't save it because it'll say, oh, you need to reboot and all that. So here now you can start getting into more complex video editing, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my videos down here. A couple of things that are real helpful is this little magnet tool, the snap tool, right? So if that's not enabled, I take a video and it'll pretty much say, okay, you can drag it anywhere, here and there, and it lets me move it around, but I can never really get it lined up. Actually, let me turn that off. Actually, was it on already? Okay. So without that on, it pretty much will let me just kind of move it here freeform. But let's say I want to snap the videos together. It'll connect them like a magnet. And again, same thing. You drag this down here. So it's pretty flexible. You can do a lot of the same things in this tool that you can in the other. Here, if I want to add my audio file, I can just drag it down to the track down here. There's my audio. I can rename this too. So I can either drop down or I can right click. Whoops. I think it moved it, right? So I didn't want to do that. Oh, it added the track because I hit my mouse there for a second. So let me get rid of this. All right. So we're now down to 3 tracks again. All right. So so now I can rename this. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to rename it. I'm going to call this music. Okay. Or Uzik. And so now I can separate them with what I have. The beauty of this tool, and you'll see this with OpenShot as well, or excuse me, with Shotcut, is now I can do some more things to it. So what does that mean? It means that I can automatically create a seamless transition just by dragging my video over here, and it's created a fade in, fade out, right? And I can resize that. And there's different ways to do this. So now when I go ahead and again, I play the video, and this is called scrubbing. I can shorten this video. I don't like this video being, let me delete this for a sec. I don't like this video being this long, so I'm going to shorten it. So there's a couple things I can do. The easiest thing I can do here is just drag it down to where I want it. So it's easy, left mouse click, drag. Now I've got a shorter video. It kind of gives me where I want to be. I can actually increase my space by using my control and right mouse wheel, or the zoom, on here, plus and minus. I can drag this, which will do the same thing. So now essentially I go back over here, and now again I can drag all of these if I want to. I can just select them all, drag them, and I can have a transition here. So it wants to do it that way. All right. Let me get rid of this, and I'll show you more transitions here in a sec. So now what I've done is I've basically created a video. So if I move my playhead here, which again, it's very intuitive, and I hit play. Oh, why are you not? There we go. You notice the it's laggy because I've been running a lot of stuff. It transitioned in there, so I got a nice clean fade out and fade in automatically. There's also a transition screen here. So let's say I don't want that transition. I want something else, right? I want a wipe left to right. All right. So I'll go ahead and I'll bring this transition. I'll drag it down. Let's tighten it up a little bit. I'm going to, for the sake of the audio, I'm going to remove the audio for a second. Which you can also, there's volume controls on the audio. My machine's trying to catch up here. Now, I have it's caching right now. I probably should have closed out of everything. But what it'll do here, so you notice it did a wipe there. So instead of it doing a fade, it went ahead and it kind of did a wipe. It wiped out the other screen. So, and these are all customizable too. So there is a, within here, you can actually edit the properties. So within your transitions, you've got a lot of options here. You can change where it is. You can change the wipe. You can change the start time, end time, how long it lasts. Very powerful tool. Ripples, and you can see here tons of different transitions, right? You can even put the OpenShot logo on your video if you want to. Effects, you've got different effects here. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, I'm using pretty high CPU right now. So transition effects, same thing, right? Let's say I want to brighten up a video. So I can go ahead and drop this effect here. And what it's going to do to this video when it renders it, you may not be able to see it, but it's actually going to brighten it up. It's going to brighten the colors. wave, if I put a wave effect, I'll put one here, and when it renders there, it'll add kind of a wavy effect on my image, right? So lots of cool things you can do out of the box. But again, the cool thing is you can actually go in here and you can edit that. You can edit where it starts, where it ends, the position of it. A lot of cool things you can do with it. Title slides. Like before, you can add a title slide. You can go down here and it gives you a bunch of options to create a title slide. So you can do like, this one here, right? You can use this as a default. You can create your actual title. So, and here's where you would just go ahead and, this is, in winter. Right. So basically now you have your title slide, and you can do, again, put your name in there, your display name, boom. And now you have a title slide that you can go ahead and add into your project. Let's see, what else can you do? Animated titles. They even have animated titles. This is where Blender, remember we talked a little bit about Blender. So Blender is a tool that you can use to create images, to massage images, to create animated images. So here it says it's required. I actually have Blender on here, but these will work with Blender, and then it may not be in the right path, and then you can create animated. Like here's one that looks like Star Wars. So it'll actually come in and it'll bring it in. Yeah, it's not finding it. But if you look at the one that's in there, it'll say, oh, you can create this space movement so you can make it look like Star Wars. So they got a lot of those built in right out of the box. I want to stop here for a second and ask, are there any questions? You can put them in the chat if I can see the chat.
I've got a question. If you're going from the fire with its crackling into snowflakes, and snowflakes happens to have an audio track, does the transition fade out the audio and fade in the audio at the other one?
So good question. So let's go back over here to my project files, and I'm going to put my audio file back in, right? And so the answer is it depends. Here, since I have an audio on here, I can take that, actually separate that out if I want to, but let's just use it in here. So here I can see where it says separate audio. So I can actually create a separate track, but in here in the volume, it gives me the opportunity to, at the start of clip, I can fade it. I can fade in. I can set a level, right? I can do it at the end of the clip or for the entire clip. So I can actually silence, I wasn't on that one, but I can actually silence the audio in that clip if I wanted to. Or
right, but if you had audio in fire.mp4 that you wanted to play, and you had audio in snowflakes.mp4 that you wanted to play,
right,
when you played them and you had a transition in between it, how would it treat the audio that's embedded in the MP4 file?
Oh, right. So again, because the tool is there's certain things you can do and certain things you can't. Again, I can go in here, and if you notice, I can go into the audio and I can actually change a lot of that. And it's a concept of what we would call keyframes, but they use the same concept in here, volume mixing, right? So I can come in here and I can actually make changes if the audio supports it. I can make those changes. I can do a fade in transition and a fade out. So I can actually have the fire. Let's say I wanted the fire, but I wanted to fade out, right? At the start of the clip, I wanted it to well, normally you would, let's see, end of clip. So let's say I wanted it to fade out fast. I could go ahead and fade out the fire, fade in the music, and have it do a transition there. But again, because it's not an audio editing program, it's very basic. What I would recommend if you're going to do that is I would use something like Audacity and massage the audio file and then bring it back in if that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about if I wanted to use the embedded file that's in the video, that when I took it with my smartphone, I've got audio in there.
Sure. Yeah, you could certainly do that. What I, what I do for something like that is I'll actually record the videos because the audio's there, but typically I'll add a separate audio track like a lot of people do, and then just sync it up to the sequence or to the video. Um, it just makes it a lot easier than trying to use native audio. It you can never get a good sound when you're recording live audio. There's so much background noise. But in this case, let's say I wanted the fire, it would play both audio tracks together, and then I would just have to balance it out. So, but that's in a nutshell. That's pretty much OpenShot. There's a lot. It is pretty powerful. I'd say of all the tools that are out there, I like OpenShot. It's easy. It's intuitive for most videos. And again, you may like the for the titles, right? The animated titles are pretty cool. Like I said, I don't know why my Blender's not working. It's probably an older version, but you can do like the clouds. I think are cool. Here's like the movie if you wanted it to bring it in like a movie. And again, you can do the same thing. So if I wanted to create this title, right, and I wanted this title slide now to come in first, I could put that on its own track, and then I could take everything here and slide it over, and I could put a transition between these. But now my title slide will play first, right? And what I can do then is I can add the concept of like, I can zoom that in, right? So what I can do here is the transform. This should work. So here, within here, I can actually do use effects, and I can zoom it in, right? So trying to figure out what it is. I'm doing this on the fly here, but I can actually transform this and animate. There we go. So start of clip, I want to zoom. I can do it here. Zoom in. Let's zoom in 75 to 100%. So now if it took it, if I wanted to do that, see, I can have it zoom in. I can have it zoom in to 0 to 100% by making the changes here. So if you notice here, right here, I can change this scale. It's kind of like in X-Lights, right? Where you can go ahead and you can massage the effects. So if I go into Hue, do it here. It's not letting me edit it. It might be because it's a fixed parameter here. It's these you might not be able to. I thought you could. No, it doesn't like that. But there is a way to do it under properties. You can do it. You can actually, but these might just be fixed because it is a built-in function. But for the most part, you should be able to change that. Most of them you can change. But that gives you an idea of the power of the tool. Since we're kind of short on time, we're not going to save that. Let's go into Shotcut. Shotcut it's again got more bells and whistles than OpenShot does. I'm going to open up a prior project. Again, a little bit different. It looks different. Some things to note on this tool, and again, I'm going to do separate. I'm going to talk to Ed actually, and obviously when it's not an impromptu, I'm going to set up, maybe do a X Essentials, or I may just do a podcast or something like that, or a live, invite folks in to come and chat through this. Same concept. You have the concept here of your different rows that you can go ahead and bring in your different, your video, your audio. You can separate audio tracks. What's cool about this tool is it does break it down to the granular. You have the concept of really using like keyframes, like we were talking about for zooming in, zooming out. But again, everything kind of moves. You can scrub the video. You can go ahead and do seamless transitions. You can move from track to track. You can create the separate audio track. You can massage your audio. This also gives you the ability to massage your audio, to do easy fade ins, fade outs on the fly. It gives you a nice little button there that you can do that. We'll go down here. It's a long file. So actually what I did with this file is, now this tool won't automatically size your audio file. So let's see if it'll do this. So this audio file was actually longer than the video file that I had, right? And if you notice, I'm stretching it out here because I can do that. So what I did was, I actually wanted my audio to end where my video ended. So I just dragged it in, and it automatically resizes it for me. And then I did a fade out. So at the end of this video,
Merry Christmas.
so what I did was I just went ahead and sized the audio to go with the video. But same concept as before. So as you see, the transition from something as very simple as the Windows 10 video editor going all the way up to something like a Shotcut. And again, the other tools are similar. You have different tracks. You can edit on the track. You can remove a track. You can split it. So here, same concept. Let's say I want to split this video into 2 different videos because I want to move it. I can use this, or I can right click, or I can just hit S. So if I use this tool here, this is where the power of the tools come in, shortcuts, whatever you're using. I've now split this video, so I have a separate video track here now that I can move and put wherever I want to, right? So I can show half the video at the front end, half at the back end. Where is that useful? It's useful if, let's say, you did a 1 minute single shot of your display, right? And it was a front on shot, and then you had a left view and a right view. Because when you do these, when you record your display, you're going to record that sequence probably 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times, right? You're going to do it multiple times from different angles. So let's say I had a front angle, a left angle, and a right angle, but I don't want to, I can take that front angle, right? Split that into two different videos, essentially, right? And now what I end up with is I can actually take that, put the left side at the beginning, so show my middle, my left, my right, and then at the end, I can put that other side of that video that I just split, right? I could take that and I could drag it to the end. So then I would have my front view again, and I wouldn't have to pre-record it. Yeah, I mean, you can overwrite clips on here. You can zoom in, zoom out. There's a lot of power to this tool. I wish we were able to have more time. One other thing I wanted to show you about this tool is it does break up your windows. So if I'm doing any kind of regular editing, I have an edit screen here for editing my video. The effects, this is where I was showing you where you go into here and really you have, let me select. I want me to select something. So these are kind of like your different built-in effects. So I have video effects, I have audio effects. So I can take this video and I can pretty much do take a lot of these transitions and effects, and I know we have about 10 minutes. And I can do the same thing I did before. Remember with OpenShot, I dragged those transitions in. Here, it kind of gives me the ability to add these built-in effects, which are all customizable. So let's say, like the zoom. Remember I was talking about keyframes, and we don't have a whole lot of time, but size, position, and rotate. So let's say I wanted to do this one, right? Now what I can do is I can actually take this video, my buddy here, right? And I'm going to do a keyframe. So I'm going to do a start of my keyframe, and I'm going to have it here. And my end keyframe is going to be here. And within there, I want to zoom from here. So let's, or excuse me, hang on. Let's see what happens. So all I've done right there in a matter of 5-10 seconds is I've now taken that video and I've now zoomed it in and transitioned to my next video piece. So the advantage of that is it's very quick, it's very easy. You can do this. I mean, if you download this software, I pretty much tell people, if you spend a couple of hours playing with all these different things, you're not going to break anything, right? You're going to be able to create professional looking videos by using these tools. I like OpenShot for quick, down and dirty, throwing a video together as a, I want to get it out there on the web. But if I was going to do a lot of customization, I would use Shotcut. I think it's just, to me, it's the best free tool out there. Again, no watermarks. There's no compensation. There's no donation. I've never gotten, nagware. You can upgrade. You can set it for updates where it'll automatically update like everything else. I wouldn't do that. I don't like anything auto updating on me. I have issues with that. And something like this, because it could render your other videos, or you could have issues when they change formats. But I know this wasn't the class that you all were looking for. I hope this was somewhat helpful. Again, I'm going to do some others on this, because if you're looking for professional, audio or professional video editing software, like using Adobe Premiere Pro, there's other folks who can do that a lot better than me. I just like these tools because even though I have Premiere Pro, I like using something like this because it's fairly easy to kind of walk through. So, any other questions? All right. Well, if not, I think we'll get this class ready for the next one, which I don't think there was a class after this.
This
I
room,
think
this is the last class in this room, Paul.
this is the last class for this room. So,
And thank you for stepping up and filling in for us.
Carl.
No problem. Anytime. Always good to try to pinch hit when I can. So, but I think I will do an Existentials on this. I think it's a good idea.
That's powerful stuff.
And if anybody wants to know, Florida's having really bad storms going through right now. They got tornado warnings and everything. So, just keep them in mind while they're going through this. It looks like even where Tony Bigda, it looks like they've got some stuff going on. So, ooh.
Yeah, he lost
All
power
right.
a couple hours ago.
That's what it looks like. Wow. Yeah, we had storms like that. I don't know, about 2-3 weeks ago. Same thing. I was actually we were out of town. Yeah. I think it's because Russ McFarland just needs to move to Florida. That's all there is to it. He would keep the bad weather away. So, well, I appreciate it, everybody. Thanks for indulging me and letting me keep you company for the last hour. If there's no other questions, I guess we are done. All right. Cool. Bam.
Don't forget, the last class today will be in the Moscow room, where they have a lot more drawings for us. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.